Good morning, everyone. Here we are at week 14 of the semester. We're coming right down to the end of things. Not that much left to do in the semester, at least as far as this class is concerned. I'm sure all your classes are getting busy as things start to wind down. And so, good luck as the semester wraps up for you. I hope it goes well. And at least as far as this class goes, we are this week. Our work basically is going to be the final discussion post of the semester. We're sort of continuing the pre-writing assignments for SA4, which is the character design rationale of No Exit. So by now, everybody's read the play. Everyone has come up with a general concept and theme design for the play, or at least the setting of the play. And so now it's time to turn to the characters, and hopefully everybody has watched the video from the prompt of SA1, or excuse me, SA4, that speaks about kind of the nature of what goes into depicting a character on the stage. And of course, the video featured my wife, Liz, who does this professionally. And as the video discusses, it all starts basically with character analysis. And so it brings us back around to, other writing assignments where the goal has been to identify traits and aspects of a character that speak to who they are as people, really, and being able to point to specific things that they say, that they do, that they think, if we're privy to that, as we are often in literature, and of course how other people in the room react to them and how they interact with other people. And so all of that, which we've already done and focused a lot on this semester, is essentially what we're doing when we think about how are we going to design a character for the stage. And I really do want to emphasize the fact that what we're doing is designing a kind of hypothetical play. And so the set designs, the what you choose for this assignment needs to be something that you could actually represent. I, as an audience member, will be sitting in a crowd and I'll be looking at a stage. So what am I literally seeing? And so, when we're talking about things like set design, it's kind of important to not think so broadly. We're not necessarily making a movie or a Netflix series here. And so we don't have access to whole buildings and, vast expanses, and we're sort of limited to a certain amount of space. And so this being one room, the play being set in one room, shouldn't be that difficult, but it's also not necessary to really design or think about things that go beyond the four walls and the ceiling and the floor. So, as you think about costumes, you are, of course, free to go whatever way you would like, but the goal is to kind of speak to who these characters are in your designs, and just kind of in a written rationale explain how you arrived at those choices. And those choices should be based both in what you divine of the character, but there's also things that there's also choices that are more or less made for you in the play. We know that Garson is wearing a jacket because he has to take one off at some point. We know that Estelle is wearing a blue dress because she mentions that it clashes with the green sofa that's there for her to sit on. And so you have to also think in terms of the audience member, how weird it would be if Estelle is saying, oh, my blue dress would clash with this green sofa if she's not wearing a blue dress. And so you kind of have to factor those details in as well as you make these choices. Because as the assignment sort of says, nothing about the details of the play, who the characters are, that kind of thing, nothing can change. They are still the same people. They're in hell for the same reasons, and what they say in the play should be more or less unaltered. And so, as you think about these things, bear in mind both factors. Bear in mind that some choices are kind of already made for you with some of the characters. That shouldn't be terribly limiting. But then also just, you know, what kind of person are they, and what kind of, clothes would they wear? As we said in the video in the prompt, there's not much that you can do to depict every single aspect of their personality in a visual shorthand via their clothes. And you're not obliged to necessarily try to do that. So you may pick and choose which details end up getting expressed in your costume. But there should be something. It should all make sense. It should all be kind of cohesive, whether you're setting it in just sort of an updated setting, modern 2024 kind of room and clothing style, or whether you're setting it in some, fictional universe like the Star Wars universe or whatever, right? So that's all discussion post 10, I believe, is asking you to do. And to go ahead and get some of your ideas out. Go ahead and think about who these characters are and how you might dress them. Build your collages. I'm looking for a collage for each of the characters, so you'll be using Be Funky to basically do the exact same thing, just instead of designing the scene, you'll be designing the characters this time. And then, of course, after that is done, the only thing left to do is to write the essay. And you may have already seen that there's a couple of sample essays. I will link to them in the announcement this week. They are about different plays, but they're more or less doing the same assignment. Just looking ahead, so with our final essay being due the week after the final week of class, our final exam period is kind of nebulous, right? There is an assessment. It is not something that I have much control over. It's not necessarily something that will affect your standing in the class. If you've taken English 1010, which I assume you have, it's very much the same kind of deal. The department is kind of assessing students so that we can know a little bit better how English 1020 functions. And so this if you do the assignment, if you do the assessment, you will get full credit for having done it. If you don't, you won't. But otherwise, I'm not really scoring this in any way that will affect your standing in the class. Obviously, I want everyone to do as well as possible, but it's not that much of a load-bearing assignment. So this essay will be due on April 29th, and that will also be the day that I make available the assessment. Sitting here right now, I don't know what that assessment might look like, but as soon as I do, I will announce it and put instructions for you to follow and all that good stuff. So some way, shape, or form, look out for an announcement regarding that. And then finally, student perception of survey. Every semester, as you are probably aware, the college collects feedback from the students about how the course has gone. And you may have already done this. If so, great. A lot of times when other classes announce this, some students go ahead and just knock all of the surveys out. But if you haven't, there will be a QR code in the announcement this week that will take you to that survey. And I just encourage everybody to be honest and forthright. It's all anonymous, so unless you give yourself away somehow, I won't know what anybody has left regarding feedback. There's multiple choice questions, and then there's a spot for you to provide written feedback if you so choose. And so kind of a couple of different things to keep in mind as we wrap up the semester. But the big work this week is just to continue planning those character designs, and then go ahead and start working on Essay 4. And if you have any questions about any of this, or need feedback regarding, ideas or such, or you just want to kick ideas around, just let me know. I am going to hustle through Essay 3 feedback and get that posted for you as quickly as possible this week. And then I'll also post next week about an opportunity to choose one of the first 3 essays to revise. And that's essentially the only extra credit kind of assignment that I really offer. But I'll talk more about that next week. For now, just think about the characters, fill out those surveys, let me know if you have any questions, and enjoy the rest of your week as well.